And we'll let some people trickle in after a few minutes, but we can get started. So I just wanted to welcome everyone to the Mindful Nurses free online wellness series. My name is Janelle, and I co-created this event together with Claudia. So we are both nurses and also yoga teachers and really interested in holistic practices. And we wanted to create this event to share some of the holistic practices that have been meaningful in our lives and also start to create a community with other nurses we know who are doing these kinds of things and interested in these kinds of things, both for our own health and well-being and to better support our patients. So we're so happy to have you guys here with us and to have Rita here with us today to share a beautiful self-love massage. So before I introduce Rita, I would just love to meet everyone here in the room and for all of us to meet each other. So maybe I'll go around and call on you. If you can unmute yourself and just share your name, where you're coming from, what kind of nursing you do, and maybe just what brings you here today. It'd be great to meet everyone. So starting with River.
Hi, everybody. I'm River. I'm in New York. I'm upstate New York right now, but I've been in New York City. Before that, I moved up here just in the last couple of months. I'm a holistic nurse practitioner in primary care, specialized mostly in primary and sexual health, LGBT, and HIV. And I'm really grateful that this space has been created for us to come together. So thank you so much for making this happen. And it's nice to meet everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Welcome. So good to have you here, River. River and I went to school together and really been enjoying reconnecting with River and sharing our common interests in this area. So good to have you here. And Helen.
Sure. Hi, I'm Helen. I am a nurse in the pediatric ER at Bay State Medical Center right now, which is in Western Massachusetts. But I worked with Janelle like many moons ago in the pediatric ED at Children's in DC. And pediatric ED nursing is what I've been doing since I became a nurse. And I think I answered the questions about who I am and where I work. Yeah, okay. That's it.
Yeah, that's great. It's so nice to have you. So good to see you after all these years. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
And Kathy, welcome, Kathy.
Hi there. I'm on the Oregon coast where now it's pouring rain. A couple days ago, I was out in my bathing suit. You don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. Family nurse practitioner working in urology, seeing patients from home. For the most part, 1 day a week in clinic. Having a rough week, bad sleep for a couple nights. I got better sleep last night, but I had a bad neck attack a day. So I've been having, dizziness and nausea and my horrible neck pain all day. I made it through the day. It was like fingernails on a chalkboard, but I am here and I'm ready for some self-love and massage.
Yay.
So thank you. I think this is really cool too. The time I participated in this, I've been meeting nurses from all over the world. I mean, it's amazing. Thank you for sharing so much of, yourself.
Thanks so much for coming, Kathy. It's so fun to have you here every day and to start to build this community. And yeah, it's been really fun for us too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Kathy. This massage will be perfect for you today.
Yeah. And Patricia, welcome.
Hello, my name is Patricia. I am actually based in Peru right now. I am from Peru. Well, I'm not exactly a nurse. I am a yoga teacher and a self-love coach. And I met you guys through a friend from Bali because I live there. I didn't get the chance to meet you, but my friend and I currently in Peru, we are trying to build like a meditation group for nurses in Peru. So that's why she told me to join, that this will be a good idea, also an inspiration to try to see how can we help more of the people who's out there. And yeah, that's why I'm here. This is my first day, and I'm really love and very inspired to be surrounded by wonderful, like I call my friend because she's a nurse. That's how I was inspired to start trying to help um, our communities, from our Latin communities in Peru specifically. So I'm very, very grateful to be surrounded by beautiful women like you guys that are doing an excellent job. So thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming, Patricia. I heard about what you guys are doing with nurses in Peru. It's really inspiring. So it's cool to have you here. Thanks for coming.
Just trying to do our best. So thank you.
What city are you in, Patricia? I was actually born in Peru. We have family over there. Yeah.
Well, I'm born. I'm from Cusco, but I'm living in Lima, in the capital right now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'll be interesting to find out about your center.
Yeah, that will be amazing. Let's connect.
Beautiful connections. Nice. And Sarah, welcome, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm not a nurse, but my mother and father are nurses. My two aunts, a sister-in-law, and a cousin. So I was raised by nurses and worked in a children's ER for almost 10 years while I was in college. So I appreciate all the work that you guys are doing. I'm a yoga teacher, though. I did a training with Janelle and Claudia about 2 years ago almost, and I'm so happy that I get to see you ladies again. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, so great to have you here. And your husband is an ER doctor, so he can probably appreciate some of the massage you learned today. Maybe you can share some of it with him.
Absolutely, we used to work out, so yeah.
Cool. Good to have you. And there's someone else also signed in, the Sarah Sun. Cool. Yeah. Is this your friend? Or?
Yes.
So yeah, Sarah.
Hi, welcome.
Hi. Sarah passed on the invite to me. I'm good friends with Sarah, so I really appreciate that I get to join you all. I'm in healthcare logistics supply chain, so lots of my friends are nurses on the inside. So I'm just so happy to be with you all tonight. Thank you for letting me join.
Very cool. Thanks so much for being here. What was her name again?
It's Caitlin.
Caitlin. Okay.
Yeah.
Caitlin. Cool. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming. And Laura. Hey.
Hi, I'm Laura. I'm here in DC. I started my career as an HIV nurse in Baltimore, and I work in public health now. Janelle and I used to work together. We've been in DRC and other places. I still work in public health in conflict areas, mostly doing management stuff now.
So nice to have you here, Laura. And Michelle. Can't hear you, Michelle. I don't know if you got disconnected. You want to type into the chat box also. That's okay if your mic isn't working. Okay, we'll come back to you, Michelle. Give you a second to do some tech troubleshooting. Oh, there you are. Now I see you. Great. Michelle worked with Rita in New York. Cool.
Oh, is this Michelle Mulligan? She's saying her audio doesn't work. Hi, Michelle.
Great to have you here, Michelle. Public Health NP from New York. Good to see you again. Nice to have you back. And HIV and sexual health. Cool. Worked with
Yeah,
Rita.
we worked together. We went to school together, worked together at Planned Parenthood, went to Dominican Republic together, and then worked at the Department of Health together.
Cool. All right. I love how this is bringing everyone together. I love seeing Helen, who I worked with in the ER so many years ago, and Laura, who I worked with in public health and humanitarian work. It's so nice to reconnect with our coworkers and friends in this field. Oh, River, that's a beautiful mandala you have there. Nice. Okay, Grace. Welcome, Grace.
Grace, can you unmute yourself? Can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there we go.
Guys, my name's Grace. I'm a family nurse practitioner working in rural Vermont. On the nights that I can be here, I really appreciate all of the things that you guys are bringing to us, so thank you. I'm a family nurse practitioner. I have a strong interest in holistic health and most recently herbalism, so those are some things I'm pursuing, and yeah, it's just really nice to be here with all of you guys.
Nice to see you, Grace. Grace and I also went to school together. Lots of Columbia alumni, Rita, Michelle, River, lots of us. Okay, and Ryan. Hi, Ryan. Welcome back.
Hello. I'm trying to get kids down still, so paying attention as I can. Sorry.
Cool. No, thanks so much for coming. Ryan's my cousin and a pediatric nurse practitioner from Kansas.
Cool.
My wife's also a pediatric nurse, so good to have you guys. And Sandra, welcome, Sandra.
Hi, yeah, so my name is Sandra. I'm a F&P student at the Yale School of Nursing. I'm going to start my next year in California. Actually, they're letting me do it online and do my clinicals in California, which is kind of exciting. I'm Claudia's cousin here, so I'm super excited that she invited me and welcomed me to this group. And I'm excited to learn more ways to like nourish my body and mind so I can better care for others in the future.
So happy you're here, Sandra, and so happy you joined the nursing profession as well.
Yeah, I love it so far.
Welcome.
Beautiful. Welcome, Sandra. And Sharon, welcome back, Sharon.
Hey ladies, so I'm back again. I just really like the mind-body connection, and for both myself and my patients, I'm an OBGYN doctor, and just want to learn more about massage. I personally get regular massages, so I just want to know how to do it for myself and for my children too. I'm huge about massages, so for all of my children, I always did massages as babies, and I know there's many benefits to it, so just want to learn about self-massage now.
Yeah, that's awesome. So good for kids.
Yeah.
Great to have you with us. And yeah, and Patty, welcome back, Patty.
Hi, I'm Patty from the Philippines. Thank you for having me here. I have a sister-in-law who's a nurse, so I will you guys so far. Thank you.
is Patty. Patty's from the Philippines, and she's been sharing the series with us. She has a lot of family who's nurses, so it's great to have you being a part of this, Patty. And then we have one person calling in on the phone. I'm not sure if you can speak or type to introduce yourself. Hi, it sounds like you're unmuted. Can you introduce yourself, whoever's on the phone? Okay. If not, no problem. Welcome. So good to have everyone here. Really nice to be together today for this self-massage session with Rita. Rita is a nurse and a family nurse practitioner specialized in sexual and mental health and a big advocate for body positivity and pleasure. For the past 8 years, she's worked in clinical sexual health at Planned Parenthood, New York City Department of Health, community health, and mental health research focused on MDMA-assisted therapy for post-traumatic stress disorder for war veterans and sexual assault survivors. She's passionate about combining Western medicine with holistic practices like meditation, massage, and nutrition to help increase joy and resiliency, both for ourselves and our patients. Bodywork and massage provide a way for people to reconnect with their bodies and to release these deeply stored emotions that we may be carrying from our work. So we are so happy to have Rita here today. I'm so happy to have her here today. She's a dear friend of mine, and I'm really inspired by the work that she does. So thank you for coming, Rita. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Janelle, and thank you, Claudia, and thank you everyone for coming. I'm really excited about the combination between like holistic medicine and modern Western medicine, or research that's starting to help us understand why a lot of these ancient practices are so effective. I myself was very, very skeptical about like Reiki, massage, a lot of holistic practices. I didn't really understand the language or how it could be effective. Like I wanted to see the research behind it. So I think a lot of, but then last year I became a yoga instructor and I started learning Reiki. And I've meditated for a long time, but I didn't quite always understand why it was so important. And so a lot of research now is coming out around how these practices help impact our nervous system, specifically like our parasympathetic nervous system, like massage, breath work, yoga, how these practices actually tap into our nervous system and calm it, which then has like a cascade effect for the rest of our body, digestion, focus, sleep, sexual pleasure. So that's why, yeah, I'm really excited about these practices. And another thing I think specifically for healthcare is that I think our jobs are really, really emotional. And when I was in school, no one talked to us about how to let go of really sad stories that we heard, or maybe really difficult cases, or when your patients die, like what to do with all these feelings. And my usual practice was to just repress them or deny them. I've been doing that since I was a kid. But it got to the point where I would like cry a lot with my patients in the room, or after patients. I found myself needing a lot of breaks, or I would think about them all the time. My stomach would hurt. I also worked in sexual health in New York City, and a lot of our clients were diagnosed with HIV that day. And Michelle and I know, like, we would sit with them right after and go over their care plan. And every time that I had to do it, my stomach hurt so bad and I was nauseous. And we also worked with a lot of people who had just experienced sexual trauma or had been raped. They would come to us to get like the post-exposure prophylaxis for HIV. And those people really, really got to me. I would dream about them, like I just couldn't get them out of my head. And then finally, when I learned about Reiki, they were saying how we can store these people's energy and it can make us really ill. And so they started talking about different practices that we can do to kind of let the energy come into us, like let these patient stories come into us. Like we can still be present and listen and compassionate, but not to sort of store them physically in our body. And they're talked about different types of techniques. And I'm really curious if we have time to learn about the ways that you all do this, what you have found effective, because it's kind of hard to get this information, and sometimes it can be really like woo-woo. So I kind of have a reaction sometimes like, wait, is this even working? Like, what do you mean call in my spirit guides? Like, what does that mean? So today I kind of want to talk about a couple of those practices that I found to be helpful for myself, and then the more touch-based practices that we can actually feel to help calm us down. And I wanted to hear a little bit from you all, if you already incorporate any of these practices into your daily life, or after you have like a specific difficult time with a client. Like, are there any things that you do to help you kind of release those feelings? And feel free to type it in the chat or call it out.
Well, for me, I know when I've had a difficult patient, complicated situation, it was helpful for me to talk to my coworkers that were doing the same role, so they really understood what was happening and the difficulties. It also helped to just unwind after work and not get on the phone with anybody, or just have some time to just be with myself and just let things go. Also, taking walks really helped clear my mind.
Yeah, definitely. So talking to people who would understand what you're going through, taking some time by yourself afterward to just not have to talk to anyone or walk outside. To see the chat. Kathy says that you get regular massage, but it's difficult now with sheltering, having neck pain today. Home is not very ergonomic. I get that. Meditation, hot tub. Yeah, I really, really like water for a relaxation method, and candles for patients that pass away. That's very sweet. Does anybody else use water or walking to help relieve emotion?
I do.
Water or walking or both?
Both. Absolutely.
Maybe some more acupuncture, learning about self-acupuncture, Reiki, virtual Reiki, which is cool, walks outside, Pilates, hot showers, the beach, I love the beach, walking in nature, warm bath, hugging a pillow, that's sweet. Yeah, so one of the first practices people told me, she was actually one of my patients, but she was a Reiki practitioner, and she told me that one practice that's really helpful for people who work in Reiki or yoga, or people who do massage therapy in healthcare, is that it's kind of like a mantra and a physical movement, but I started using this after every patient now. But they say, and let me know if anyone else does this, but they say to wash your hands, or if you don't have water, to just do like a brushing motion all over your body. But as you're doing it, think of the emotion or the case or the patient you were just with, and to tell yourself, like, this is not my energy. And to just swipe slowly on your whole body after every patient. And they say water is really effective too. And when I first heard that, I was like, how does that work? And I'm still not exactly sure, but especially doing Reiki and everything now, and learning about our life force and refilling it and creating barriers for ourselves to protect ourselves and our energy, I just started using it more. Does anybody else use the technique like that?
So I don't do exactly that, and it's not, obviously I don't see patients, but sometimes or oftentimes people come to a yoga class because they are under a certain amount of stress, or a doctor or someone has sent them there and they can come in crying. So it's hard not to take on that emotion a little bit, especially if they're coming in and you're supposed to teach a class for a full room and try and make everyone else calm. But it reminds me of something I read in Untethered Soul, which I think was one of our required books for the second training. And it talks about just noticing your body sensations when a tough situation is coming up. There's a tendency to close. And instead of closing, because that's kind of like locking it into your body, you know, it's not deflecting it so much as keeping it in. If you let your muscles relax, let it kind of flow through you and permeate, then it doesn't really stick with you. So you can still be present, you can be compassionate to the person, but you don't have to keep it inside of you. So I don't do the washing thing, but it kind of feels like that. You can feel your tendency to want to close maybe, and then let it happen, let the person have their emotion, not try and get them to stop having their emotion, be okay with that, and then let it go through your body. It feels kind of like you're letting, you know, that happen.
Yeah, like a movement.
Yeah. So I don't actually do that, but it kind of feels like that. I like it.
Yeah, I really like that kind of acting. They talk about that in Reiki as well, like we're acting as conduits, so that energy can, or emotion or stories can come through us, but they don't stay in our bodies. I like that. Just reading more comments. Yeah, we're elbow deep in other people's energy. Showering with salt, yeah, salt with the bathrooms and door. Oh yes, I've heard that too, opening windows and doors for energy to leave. I've also, people in the hospital have told me they do that when patients pass away, they open the window so the soul can leave. Yeah, sage, yeah, different people use different smells or different herbs like sage or Palo Santo for clearing space in the house or at work. It's really great. Awesome. So the other thing I wanted to just briefly touch on before we get started are some emotional processing techniques that I learned last year. I quit my job in New York City almost exactly a year ago. I was super, super burnt out. I had been working for 8 years and I was completely had like compassion fatigue. I may have been depressed. I never actually went to see therapy. I just quit my job after a while. But I kind of started on this journey to try to come back to myself. I went through a really, really bad breakup at the same time. And I was really feeling very, very drained and kind of lost. And so I went to Mexico and I did a 3-week Hatha yoga training program. And after that, I went to Peru and I did a 2-week ayahuasca retreat, because I also work in psychedelic research with MDMA and ketamine, as Janelle mentioned, for people with PTSD. So I was very curious about the mechanisms of psychedelics for trauma. And that's another thing that the shamans were saying, because I told them, you know, I'm really, really sad. It's hard for me to stop thinking about my patients. And they're like, it's the same for us. Like, if we take in people's emotions and spirits and energy, but you have to let them go, otherwise it'll make you sick. And so that was a lot of the work that I was doing there, was trying to understand how to not store emotions. And one of the practices they taught us was the RAIN method. Has anyone used that method? RAIN? Mm-hmm. Cool. So yeah, I had never heard of it. And it was probably one of the most impactful things that I learned. I used it for my breakup. I had so much anger and jealousy and pain from that relationship. And also I had a lot of emotion around my patients. And I felt really sad for my patients, but I also felt guilty, I think. Like guilty that I had sort of more control over my own life, that I was happy that I was able to have more freedom, something that a lot of my clients didn't have. So I just wanted to talk briefly about the RAIN method, but essentially it is, it's kind of like a system, like an exercise where you can ask yourself what you're feeling, and then ask what it might be trying to tell you, and then learn how to not identify with it so then it can move through you. So while we're doing this massage, if you want, I invite you to pay attention to any feeling or emotion or story that might come up in your mind, especially around the body. Some people might have parts of their body that they really hate or that they've been told bad stories about. Like a lot of times we feel really bad about our thighs or our boobs or our butt or just different places that we might have had really negative self-talk or talk from others about, and to try to listen to what your body is trying to tell you. And so the RAIN technique is, the first step is recognize. So say you're feeling really jealous. So you say, okay, I'm recognizing that this emotion is jealousy. And then you can allow it instead of pushing it away. So, okay, I'm feeling jealous. I'm feeling it, like what does it feel like in my body? My heart rate might be going up. I might feel a contraction in my chest. As you were saying, like, can I kind of loosen, and can I, instead of contract, can I create space for this emotion? Can I create space for this jealousy to exist and fill my whole body, to create some movement? And then investigate, what is this jealousy telling me? For me, for my ex, it was telling me that I felt like I wasn't good enough. I was really worried that my boyfriend would cheat on me, would leave me, because it already happened. So I was like, oh, it could happen again. And so underneath the jealousy was this feeling of like lack of self-worth, lack of feeling like respected in my relationship, wondering if I should stay in this relationship, wondering what I did wrong. And then finally the non-identification. So creating a little bit of a barrier between your emotion, whatever you're feeling, and yourself. Some people call the self your soul, your essence, but it's something that in yoga they talk about as kind of our core essence, something permanent, something that persists over time and that is connected with everything around us. So using our emotions, thanks for writing that down, using our emotions as tools and as teachers. That it's okay that we feel everything. In fact, it's essential so that these emotions don't get pushed down from our mind into our bodies and turn into chronic pain, digestive problems, rashes, inability to have orgasms, like all of those things. Because as they say, what we don't recognize and what we don't allow ourselves to feel will just get stored in our body and will cause a problem that we'll then have to address at some point. So that for me was really, really helpful. And it can, doesn't have to be a long practice, it can be a short practice, but I find it useful for everything. And over time, I did start to notice like an opening in my body, and I wasn't so afraid to feel these different things, and they actually taught me quite a bit. And what I really liked is they helped motivate me to take action around whatever I was feeling. For example, getting out of that relationship and blocking his number. So does anybody have any questions at this point? Comments? No? Okay. And can everyone hear me okay? Is the volume okay? Great. So does everybody have their lotion? And if you don't want to use lotion, you can just use your hands if you want to like keep your clothes on or anything. So I just want to give a brief overview of what we're going to do. So different practices say to start at your head or your feet. Usually for circulation, I start at my feet and work up. But today, because we're going to be using oils and things, I'll say we can start at our head like they do in Reiki. And massage is very cool, as we know, because not only does it help us relax and drain our lymphatic system, but they say that it also helps move emotion through our body. So they say that the most relaxing speed for massage is like 3 to 5 centimeters a second, or like 2 to 3 inches a second. So while we're doing this, I recommend starting with our fingertips and just using very, very light, very slow movement. And I always like to imagine as if you're massaging a lover or a pet or your best friend, that you really want to transmit a sensation of calm and peace for your body. And we're going to do a quick body scan to start to reconnect with all the body parts, and then do a slow, more focused practice from the head, the face, the chest, the arms, torso, legs, down to our feet. And at any point, if anyone has a question, please just shout it out or write it in the comments. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to ask everyone to close our eyes, and we're going to start with a short consecration. And we're going to start with some deep breaths. I like to do square breathing to start to calm our nervous system. If anyone has hypertension or is pregnant, I recommend not holding your breath, but just do slow rhythmic breathing. So square breathing, we're going to, if anyone's not familiar with it, we're going to breathe in for the count of 4, hold for the count of 4, exhale for the count of 4, and hold for the count of 4. And we'll do those for a couple rounds just to get us into this calm state. So we can close our eyes, and you can consecrate the practice to whatever you want. In my yoga school, we always consecrated our practices to peace. So in your minds, you can dedicate this practice to anyone or anything that you'd like. And then we're going to do a couple rounds of square breath all together. And if it's too fast or short for you, feel free to go at your own pace, whatever's comfortable. So if we can all take an inhale in and up. And then we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4. And inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. Last round. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. And hold. Great. And you can breathe at your own pace. You can continue to use that breath. And that practice of breath work or pranayama is great because it activates our vagus nerve and helps activate our parasympathetic nervous system to relax our heart rate, relax our breathing. And you can keep your eyes closed if you would like. I really like to do that, or have them open, whatever you like. So if everyone can take their palms together and rub them, create some heat. And you can place them over your eyes. And then with your fingertips, we're going to start on the scalp. So very, very slowly, remembering those 2 inches per second. Start to massage in circles. All over your scalp. And come back to the front of your face. And with your nails, you can apply a little bit more pressure. Start to wake up the scalp, massage the follicles, stimulate circulation in our scalp. Go down to the base of the neck. And with your fingertips applying a little bit more pressure, we're going to massage the sides of our neck, the front of the neck. And all the while, I recommend this deep breath. And especially for our guest who has a neck pain, do whatever feels most comfortable for you. And maybe this is a practice you already have, but maybe ask yourself if there's any other feelings associated with the pain. Anything that makes it more stressful, any emotions that might be connected to it. And maybe try to allow a little bit more space for them. And again, if any emotions come up or any thoughts or any worries, you can just allow a little bit of space for them. Ask them what they might be trying to tell you, things that maybe have hurt us, or things that we wish we could have said, but we couldn't. Now we're going to go to our face. So we can use our fingertips along our brow, massage in circles around our brow and the top of our cheekbones. And we have so many muscles in our face that affect the way that we feel, smiling and frowning. And then start to move up on the forehead. And then the lower part of the cheeks and the mouth. Getting blood flow going. And then with kind of a pinching motion, we're going to massage our jawline and our ears. And then massage the ears. And then we're going to go up to our shoulders and use our fingertips to slowly make little circles around our shoulders. Imagining this area loosening and opening. A lot of us carry tension there from our work, from sitting, from being at the computer all day. Then we're going to take our left hand and we're going to massage down our right arm. And in the excellent massage training that I study, which was developed in the 60s in California as an adjunct to psychotherapy, they use long, slow, flowing motions to help release energy from the body. And when you get to areas like your hand, you can do a sweeping motion. And they say that this helps to move the energy from your body out to the world. Kind of like the practice we were talking about to help clear emotions after clients. And if you have any clients on your mind now or stressful conversations from patients or family or yourself, this is a good practice to practice having that thought in your mind and brushing it off and out from your hand. And to practice saying this energy is not my own. It does not have to stay in my body. And then we can take our right hand and go to our left shoulder and repeat the motion. And you can play around with different sensations, like different pressure, different speed. I like to do fingertips really gently and really slowly, just on the very superficially on the skin. And again, brushing out any energy from your hand when you get to the bottom. And now we're gonna focus on our chest area. When I'm alone at home, I'm using moisturizer and I'm massaging all over my breasts and everything. So it's whatever you want to do, but don't feel like any part of the body has to be left out. But for now, we can just focus on the bony structures and the muscles. And then we can come down to the stomach. And you can do clockwise motions, moving from right to left and then down. Imagining supporting your digestion. A lot of people have a lot of digestive issues, stomach aches, nausea, connected to their emotions. And then we can focus our hands on our back, massaging our rib cage, massaging the areas where our kidneys are, and taking deep breaths and imagining the air going all the way down to your pelvic area, bringing oxygen to all of these vital organs. And then if you want to stand, you can focus on our butt area and our hips. And these are really, really big muscles. And a lot of times they're left out of massage. People think it might be inappropriate, but I actually really like massaging these areas. And they also say, as we know, especially my guests who are yoga instructors, that the hips carry a lot of emotion. And especially for clients or people who've had maybe sexual trauma, they say that a lot of people get, or for example, people who have had C-sections or difficult childbirths, that people can have lasting pain and contractions in these areas that are really difficult to diagnose or to treat. So bringing attention to these areas, bringing patience to these areas, asking if any emotions come up, what they might be trying to tell us, maybe places where we feel unsafe or unloved, and asking how we can support ourselves in releasing these memories and these experiences. And then we can sit back down, or you can stand if you're comfortable. And we can start with our right thigh. So also massaging in circular motion. And you can play with the pressure, either really light and superficial or really deep, working on all these muscles here. You can come down to the right knee, massaging it, helping the fluid circulate. And then with your fingers, gently massaging the back of the knee and the tendons and ligaments there. And then moving down to the calf. And we want to avoid a lot of pressure on the bony areas, but focus more on the muscles so that it's not painful. And then we can come down to our foot. And we can gently roll the foot, massage the ankle. And then work on the bottom of the foot, massaging all the different areas, each toe. I see some people taking deep breaths, which is awesome. And then we can come back to the left side. And again, repeat the massage there. And if you notice yourself moving really quickly, maybe try going really slowly. And then coming down to the left knee. Massaging the kneecap, the muscles that hold our knee together. And then the back, massaging the tendons, ligaments. And then the left calf. Massaging along the bones instead of directly applying pressure on top of them. And then down to the left foot, rolling the ankle, slow circular movements, one direction and the other. Massaging the bottom of the foot. And each toe. And they say that mantras are really powerful and really effective because they help to rewire our neural pathways away from limiting beliefs and self-criticism and toward more positive and supportive beliefs about ourselves. So while we're doing this, I always recommend talking to your body, being grateful for it, asking it what it might need from you, whether it's more sleep, more movement, maybe different types of foods. They say that our body gives us a lot of messages and signals, but we've been taught to not listen. We've been taught to think that headaches and being tired and being bloated and being nauseous are normal. And then we can come back to our hands. So with our right hand, we can massage our left hand. Slowly applying pressure around the palm. And then to each finger, each joint. Gently rotating each joint, each knuckle. And we can move to our right hand, massaging the palm. Each finger, each joint. And then rotating your hand on your wrists. And left hand. And rolling your shoulders up and back. And then the other direction forward. And then finally, we're going to do some neck rolls. So if you want to close your eyes again and remember deep, slow breaths. We're going to look down and roll very, very slowly to the right. Only as much as, like if you feel any pain or anything, only as much as is comfortable. Deep breathing. Try to go as slow as you can. And if you get dizzy, you can open your eyes. Thanking yourself for taking this time to slow down, create more space in your body for whatever it's trying to tell you. Listening to the wisdom that we have in our bodies. And we can change direction, rolling to the left. And maybe making a little agreement with ourselves the next time we feel something difficult or confusing or painful or emotional or joyous, that we remember the RAIN method and create a little bit more space in our body to feel, to see emotions as our teachers, and to let them move through us, recognizing that we are something deep and strong and eternal. And when you're ready, you can come back to center and close your eyes. And we're going to end with 3 more rounds of the square breath. We can take a deep breath in together and exhale. And we can inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. 2, 3, 4, exhale. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, inhale. Hold. Exhale. Hold. And last round. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Inhale. And you can return to regular breath. And with our eyes closed, we can notice any sensations we have, whether emotional or physical, any tingling, calmness, anxiousness. And I want to thank you all for being here and for sharing your knowledge and your experience and time with me.
Thank you so much, Rita.
Thank you, Rita. Such a beautiful practice. Thank you for providing the space and kind of the permission to do this type of practice for ourselves. I know we often take care of others and don't really think about setting time aside to do self-massage. So this is beautiful. I also, a square breath is also a really nice practice to calm yourself down pretty quickly. So this could also be used like stepping away. If you have a difficult patient situation, you can also do this really quickly. I think in the office space or clinic or yoga studio, if you have a difficult client.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I really like it. Or with your family or stressful events. It's pretty quick, amazing how quickly it works.
Does anyone have any questions for Rita or any comments? You can say it out loud or put it in the chat box.
I have a question. Okay, so I thought it was really interesting how you said that the hips hold a lot of emotions, and you can see that in women who've had difficult deliveries or C-sections. So that really caught my attention because I deliver babies, so I do C-sections and vaginal deliveries, and of course there are traumatic deliveries or operative delivery C-sections. So how can I use that to benefit my patients who've had those experiences?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for asking. I was thinking about you actually, because a lot of my patients too had a lot of vaginal pain or a lot of abdominal pain after giving birth. And they were like, oh, everyone's told me I'm fine, but it's really painful or it's hard to have sex. So I, depending on where someone is, I always try to point them to either physical therapy pelvic floor specialists who can do some dilation or physical rehab with them. And then there's a lot of like yoga poses as well, like anything that focuses on the hips. It kind of depends on what the specific person, like why they're having pain. So that's why I tend to try to point them to practitioners who can assess them and really understand like where exactly is their pain coming from. But those are usually the two places that I start with, either somatic therapy or, which I think somatic therapy tends to focus more on the emotional connection, because some people, they, especially like dyspareunia, like pain with sex, sometimes it's not really physical, but it could be related to sexual trauma that they've had in the past. So maybe they don't really need physical therapy, they need like emotional therapy. But thank you for asking that question. And in New York City, it was really hard. A lot of our clients were uninsured, so it was really hard to find people to refer them to. But when people were able to go and get help, like it was incredible for them.
Thank you so much.
I'm just reading. Oh, that's so cool. Kathy's saying that you teach yoga for pelvic floor dysfunction. That's awesome. Yeah, and if anyone has like resources or people that they like to work with or their own practices that they want to share, that could be really cool to help create like a resource list for clients depending on where they are. Can you explain the rain again? Yes, so if you guys want to read more about the rain method, it's like a Buddhist practice, but it's very popularized by this person named Tara Brach, or Brach, I'm not sure. And you can Google this person, but yes, so it's basically like a system. It's like an exercise for your mind whenever you have an emotion. Or even it works like if you're not necessarily feeling the emotion, but you're like, oh, why does my stomach hurt so much before this meeting? Or, oh, I talked to this person and my chest feels so tight, like what's going on? So you start with R, which is recognize, like literally ask yourself, okay, why is my chest so tight? Or why does my stomach hurt? Or why does my head hurt? And then sometimes your body will be like, ah, this person's a jerk, or like, oh, I'm really sad, or I'm scared about whatever. And then the A is allow or accept. So for example, maybe when you're feeling jealous, you're like, oh, I don't want to feel jealous, or I don't want to feel sad right now. But instead of denying it or pushing away, you say, okay, I'm gonna let this emotion be known. And they say like to create space, you literally imagine like a cavity forming wherever you're feeling it, and almost like a cave, and you're like, it's a visualization. You feel yourself expanding and you feel the emotion either with a color or a sensation, filling that area and filling your whole body. And then the I is investigation. So you ask yourself like, okay, I'm feeling this jealousy all over my body. What is it telling me? Or I'm feeling this sadness. Like, what is it trying to tell me right now about what I need? For example, if you're really sad, okay, I'm sad because I wanted to hang out with my partner, but they don't want to, or they're too busy, or I feel like they're not listening to me. Like, wow, I feel disrespected in this relationship, or wow, this happens all the time. Like, I don't want this in my relationship. And then the N, or oh, this makes me feel worthless, or it makes me feel like alone, or I'm going to be abandoned. And then the N is non-identification. So, okay, I'm feeling sadness, or I'm feeling jealous, but I am not jealous. See, I am not a sad person. This is just a layer. This is an experience that is happening around me, and it's just asking for attention, or it's giving me information about my surroundings that I don't want, or I do want. But that you're still, in your essence, in your core, super valuable, loved, smart, intelligent, beautiful, and that you can work through these emotions. Yeah. And I know it's overtime. I don't want to keep you guys longer than needed, but yeah, thank you so much for your questions, and definitely reach out if you have more, or you want to share more practices that have helped you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Rita.
so
I
much,
put your,
Rita.
put your contact information in the chat.
Oh,
Thank
I'll just
you.
my Instagram. It's just a little bit.
Oh.
There's like a random H in there.
Oh, I see. And then we can send that resource, the RAIN resource, in the email that we'll send out tomorrow. And we also have a Facebook community, Mindful Nurses community. It's a great way to stay in touch. It was really beautiful to hear what everyone's up to. It's really inspiring to see what different fields of nursing everyone's in, and also what kind of practices you guys use too. Like, I think the use of the candle when a patient passes, I think it's a really nice way to remember the patient and honor them. So I think I'll use that in the future. I work with a lot of geriatric patients that unfortunately pass away. So yeah, I'll incorporate that. I'll put the link in here for the Facebook group so you guys can join. And we just have 2 more days left. Oh my gosh, the series. It's been such an honor to hold this series for you guys and meet you guys. I'm going to be doing a Tibetan sound healing on Friday with Tibetan singing bowls. It's a super meditative practice. You lay and receive the sounds. And then tomorrow, Janelle is going to be doing breathwork practice. So I'll let her talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, sure. It's actually very similar to what Rita was talking about today in terms of accessing some of these stuck emotions that we may have suppressed. This style of breath work is called conscious connected breath work. And it's quite a simple breathing technique, but also very profound. And through breathing like this, we activate the nervous system, and we're able to access some of these emotions that are stuck deep inside of us that we may not be aware of, that are somehow subconsciously affecting the way we see the world, the way we see ourselves, the way we interact both with our clients and also in our personal lives. So I found this practice to be super healing and therapeutic. I was, like Rita, someone who suppressed a lot of my difficult emotions. So this practice has been so healing for me to connect with my emotions and to let them pass through me and make me feel lighter and more open and more able to interact more freely and openly and authentically in the world. So I'm super happy to share this with you and would love to have you come tomorrow. I'm just curious, anyone here in the room who's tried this style of breath work before, conscious connected breath work? Would you maybe raise your hand if you've heard of it or tried it?
Well, I've done it with Janelle and a couple other practitioners, but Janelle is really, she's great at guiding the experience and making you feel safe and held. So it's really interesting practice as well to release and let go.
Thank you, Claudia. So yeah, please come back tomorrow. We would love to share this breathwork practice with you, and also Claudia's sound healing on Friday. We have 2 more days left. And like Claudia said, join our Facebook community and group because we want to keep this going, maybe having monthly meetups. We'd love to hear back from you, what times, what days are good for you, what kind of practices you would like to share. Kathy, if you'd like to share a pelvic floor yoga class, we would love that. Anyone here who has, I know River does a lot of beautiful work with herbalism, and someone else here mentioned that as well, Michelle, maybe. So yeah, I know everyone here has so much to share, and we would really love this community to continue to to grow and for us to support one another. So please join our Facebook group to stay in touch, and yeah, join us for the last 2 days. Thank you so much for coming, and thank you, Rita, for coming today. We really appreciated this practice. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you. Take care. Bye. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.